Again?
Hello, darling. How are you?
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. As you know, we are celebrating PWB Week, and we are so excited to have you join us.
Well, I am so honored that you called me up and wanted me to talk to me. It's really nice. I've seen your resume, and you walk on water as far as I'm concerned. So
We have to tell you that it was not hard to think of your name when we talked about who is it that we want to celebrate and who has been a power, a force, a trailblazer to reckon with, and someone who inspires the entire PWB membership. So it is our honor to get few words of wisdom from you today, and we are hoping that you can share with us your journey and also inspire us to do the same. So you are a role model to us, and we are very, very excited to have you. So thank you.
well, thank you. I never thought of myself as a role model, but I am a groundbreaker. I do not, when I want something, I go after it. But with that being said, I do own I'm a general contractor and I do own a Solid Energy Inc. I am the president CEO. A current position in which is I am enjoying in both the NAHB and at my local at Master Builders and King and Snow, and an NAHB past chair. So being in the advisor position, which I love too. So support others as they need it. I try to avoid pushiness, but sometimes I can be pushy. I've been bossy since I was like 2. So there you go. That's who my business is.
So is this something, you said being pushy, is this something which you developed over the years, or it was just your personality?
Oh, no, my mother would tell you if she were alive that I was born that way. I knew where I was going, I knew what I was going to do. And um, when our opportunity knocks, I've been an entrepreneur from as long as I can remember. I always look for solutions to problems. I'm always creative in how I address mostly everything I've done. And I've always been my purpose in life is to empower others to empower themselves. I just had that with me. And I imagine that's my dad and my mom combo, but it was always serving others first and then making friends. That was what I was taught. You make friends and honesty and be direct. And those who know me, I am pretty direct. So
Wonderful. So since this interview is really, to celebrate professional women in building, and we are celebrating you as a woman leader for making an impact in the industry, tell us something about your PWB involvement, your position and role in the council.
well, right now, my role in the council in all arenas is mentor and to help basically retain and engage and recruit and help others see the value in the benefits of being a professional woman in building. I mean, just within themselves, and be proud of who they are and proud of what they've done, and not be afraid to speak up. So my purpose right now is to help those if they want to get in leadership. I'm not just a mentor, I'm actually a connector. I learned that when I was in the women in residential construction, that will help you connect. I see in you that you don't see in yourself, and I don't know if that's a gift or just something I've always had, but that's what I do best. And I think it's important that everybody that is out there should realize that they have something to say. So I haven't always been at the table thinking I couldn't be at the table. And I had a dear friend when I was in my painting industry and was actually the president of my National Painting Association, by the way, which kind of gave me lots of leadership. And in being the only woman in the room and at the table, many times in my life, I started learning that not what you say, it's how you say it. I didn't always know that. Politically speaking, if you've got a thought, someone else in the room has a thought. So know that. And don't be afraid to say yes to leadership if there's 2 or 3 or 4 people saying, I'm going to help you, because I did that. I used to sit back and go, I don't know if I can do this. I don't feel that I've got enough education. Well, if you don't feel you have enough education, it's your fault, because there's a lot of education out there. And I would suggest all women reach out to someone else and say, this is what I want to do, and let them guide you, guide the way that you want to go. Because for myself, I know what to teach you. I know because of the skills I have when I was in, and things I've learned. But don't be afraid. Everybody has a certain fear, and you got to walk through those fears. As soon as you become fearful, no matter what you're doing in life, walk through it. And if I look at every learning experience as an education that I don't have to pay for except for do, just get out there and do it. There's several times I could go into detail when I have been cautious about going into leadership because I didn't feel like I was qualified. And then when I got into it, I ended up doing 2 terms a lot of times, or I was the first woman. I have to say, I've been the first woman president for a lot of different male quote occupations. And after they figured out that I wasn't going away, and they really appreciated the fact as I cared about them, whether they were male or female, then I became more of a leader in that sense, where I was leading them as well, figuring out what they needed. And then other women joined me. It was interesting how if you don't start it, nobody else is going to follow you and become the leader, that a better leader even than I could ever be. So I think I answered too many questions, but you got me going.
You're all fabulous. I did not want to interrupt you. And you spoke about your quality of knowing people sometimes so well that they don't realize what they are doing, and yet you know them. I have a magic moment also with you at the NAHB, at the awards at IBS. I was I think at the snack counter having water, and then you stopped by and you said, do you know what you're doing? I was like, just having water? And you were like, you are proving diversity. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. So that was my aha moment, that you made me realize. I literally have goosebumps thinking about it, that for years, it did not even occur to me once that I could, represent diversity. And so that was a very magical moment for me. And I'm grateful that you opened my eyes.
I remember that moment. I remember the first time when you asked me to come. I remember most of the people that I try to look at them, and I don't mean to be insulting. Sometimes I feel I might be, because I'm so nosy. I want to know who you are and what you're about, and you can teach me so much in the diversity, because we're both diverse in being women. That's number one. We have a bond there. But number two, in your cultural background, but mine. I mean, believe it or not, I'm German. Most of my background is German. And I'll tell you, my culture is ornery. I'll tell you. So I'll tell you, we could share a whole lot. And I just love reading your resume. And the reason why I did is because she was up for a very important award, which I think you deserved highly. But I want to learn from all of my diverse friends, every one of them. And this is the back with what's going on now with all the protests. It's not about, and I get protests because, believe it or not, I was an old world hippie, and I've been in revolutions, and I've been down getting rid of the Vietnam War. But it's peaceful. You need to be peaceful, and you need to speak with a clear, articulate voice. If you want to change the world or racism, then it's all about getting to meet people and know people and like people. And this I would say to women that are in the construction industry, there is, I just learned from my dad that everybody is not a stranger. They're friends you haven't met yet. And that don't be afraid to ask those people and don't be afraid to find out what they're about. And then they'll be with you forever, no matter what, whether they're around you or not, they're always your friend. So if you can look at men in the construction industry, knowing that, and I know I probably shouldn't say this, but they're kind of pathetic in the fact is that why wouldn't they want to embrace us? Why would they not want to embrace the diversity of cultures and generations in the job for workforce? I'm now been the chair of the workforce development at the building industry of Washington because I have another love for getting women and diverse folks into this industry, because it's our differences that make us so wonderfully unique in this industry, taking what you believe and I believe and putting it all together and making this amazing future for all of us. So there I go, I get off on my impassionment.
No worries, no worries. So, Darlene, tell us about your professional women in building journey. Where did you start, and how did you end up being the NAHB chair, PWB chair? How did it all happen?
Oh my God, they could go back to Gloria Steinem when I looked up there and I said, I want to be that woman. So um, my journey was, this is just short and sweet, and it was in my article in the magazine. I was in the magazine, that was kind of cool. But no, it was basically this friend of mine, a male friend of mine, dear friend who passed away just a couple of years ago, but he introduced me to a drywall lady who owned a drywall with her husband, and then I was in the painting, and I did mostly painting at that time and a little bit of remodel. And he said, you two will be good, could be good friends. And we did. We became famous friends. And we decided when the first woman was going to be elected president for the 2002, right? And the Master Builders of King and Snow, the very first woman. So we thought in honoring her, we would team up and start a women's committee. That's how we started out. So we started a committee. We didn't realize, but the first meeting we had 25 women show up. And we thought, I didn't want to be with women's group and help them form anything, because I have that, and women tend to go to knitting and crocheting, and I do all of that, but that wasn't what I was about. Mine was about helping women, including myself, meet and have a perspective that we're safe to be able to talk about, and have other women help you be and expand your business. It was about construction business. So when we did that, we were doing it specifically to honor. We were originally called Women Building Hope, interesting enough, way before I even know about NAHB. So we were called Women Building Hope, and we had a charitable arm of our association. So my drywall friend Louise, she was in the Seropreneurs group, which is charities all over the state of Washington. So we just took on some projects, and our goal and our bylaws and guiding principles and everything were to basically empower others in construction by training them. So any charitable or events we did, we would all, like me, I would teach person to paint. We had people come in that were plumbers, helping set toilets. Anything that we did, we would train and help another person to have a skill in that. So when they walked away, they found empowered in their own selves and lifted their confidence one level that they did not have. That was the ultimate goal. So we did that for 2 years. And then I was going to give it up because we weren't getting the support from our male executive director at the time. And so I went to him, and he goes, you can't go. You know, I knew it was going to be political suicide for him to say he's kicking the women out. So I said, well, I don't want to be a committee anymore. And we had our president, who was the first woman president at the time. Now I had some help. And so we became professional women in building with the help of many other women that were involved there. And that's when we became the Women's Council. So that's kind of my journey there. So I guess I was kind of a forefront leader, but I had good background with dealing, quote, I don't mean to say that word, but dealing with men in my painting association. So I had some really, I even had, and I went after and had a personal coach to help me through that, because I had to transfer the information I had in my brain as a woman to conversations with them. And it's funny, it's like speaking a different language. So you have to learn the male language. um, they aren't going to learn your language. I'll tell you that. Some of them do. I'm not knocking all of them, but most of them, you've got to change your language. It's kind of like you would in diversity. You've got double things. You're changing your language, and you've got your cultural language that you have to teach as well. So I would suggest that you start thinking about that it's different conversations with the males and the females, and the men sometimes they want to help, but they just don't know how.
Wonderful. Oh my God, these stories are so great. I just want to keep going on, but sorry, I have to go to the next question. Although I think I will call you back and ask you more about those 25 women who started with you. So why you have seen the position of women develop, evolve, and change over the years. How do you see women positioned currently in our industry? And if it is not where you want us to be, how can we change it?
You know, when I did the professional owner building, I went to the board and I said I wanted to have a professional women, or basically it was a woman council group. And one of the men in the room said to me, and is a dear friend, but he said to me, well, why would we want a women's group? And I looked at him and I said, well, because we haven't got equality in the workplace, in construction specifically, but in the world, period. And I want to have women gather together so we can understand how we can get and how we can talk equality and get that point across to the construction world. And you can't do that with men. Is they just don't know how to mentor us the way women can mentor each other. Even some of the snide comments that we can make when we're in a room by ourselves, it's not the same. I said, you know, and I looked at him and I said, have you been under a rock? We're not even equal in pay. And if I would say that, it's almost even today, we are not equal in pay. We are not equal in the workplace in most senses. And we have to work twice as hard. And that's my digging ditch story. You know, I'm out there digging a ditch one day in landscaping, learning stuff, and I was digging the ditch like crazy. And everybody came, these guys were just standing there, and I looked at them and I go, what's wrong? And they looked at me and they said, well, you're working too hard. And I said, what do you mean I'm working too hard? I'm digging a ditch. It's not like brain surgery. You just dig a ditch. And he looked at me and he goes, well, yeah, but you don't get paid well enough to work that hard. And right then, I just got a point there, and I said, no, I'm digging this ditch the best way I can dig a ditch. And if you don't like it, I don't care, because one day I'm going to be up there looking down at this ditch and telling you how to dig this ditch faster. And by gosh, I ended up doing that. But that's just a story that you can't monitor. When my dad taught me that you compete with yourself. So don't compete. Share your experiences, and I guess where I was going with this is that listening to others is awesome, but if they're not there for your welfare, and in this industry, know that you need to share your stories. You need to understand that if you don't share your gains and losses in this world, and it's like I told Paul, I said, you know, as much as I love you, you know, we need a women's council, and I would like you guys to support us in it. We got a unanimous, even Paul voted for us to have the council. But the council grew in so many ways, and so did our association. You're going to find that if we have women in this industry, the changes are beyond what anybody could think about what all they're worried about. So that's kind of answered that question. I hope I got a little side there with my stories, but you know, it's all about who you are and where you're going and the confidence to do what you want to do and get others to go join the journey, because the funnest part is the team and building teams and building find a mentor, find someone that's going to take you to where you want to go, not where they think you want to go.
This is a great segue to my next question. Actually, you mentioned the magic word. Did you have a mentor, Darylene? How did you even was someone maybe in your family or in the industry, did someone actually guide you and tell you how to go about your journey, or it just all happened?
Well, my journey goes back to way back when, and some of it's been happenstance where nobody else wanted the job. And so Darylene would took the job, and I turned out to do such a great job. They wanted me to continue on doing the job. In taking a national position, no, I have to say it was a man friend of mine, big painting company. His name is Dave, and he's out of Oregon. And he said to me, why don't you be president of your National Painting Association? Because he was already on the chair at that, or on the ladder at the time. And I said, I don't have enough experience. I don't know what I'm doing in that sense. I've done little things, but, and he just looked at me and he says, I'll help you achieve where you want to go because you're going to do great things. And I said, okay. And next thing you know, I'm the president of my National Association of Professional, basically Painting and Contractors of America. And I actually started a group there called the Professional Women in Painting, which I got a bunch going there too. But it wasn't for Dave mentoring me and showing me the way and showing me actually, because he said, if you want to make changes, Darylene, you have to be at the top. So that was kind of my thought with National Association of Women in the National Association of the PWB and NAHB, National Association of Builders. And being the first tradesperson was kind of cool because I was the very first residential contractor for my painting association led the force, and we learned that we can work together, the big groups and the little groups, we can all help each other at all different levels. So yeah, so I just never give up.
Amazing. I love what you just said about if you have to make changes, you have to be the top. Oh my God, this is so powerful. And you have actually shown us that, you know, how you did that. So it's, oh my God, I am so honored to just learn all these lovely stories and just hear about the wonderful things that you've done. I cannot believe that, that you have started some kind of a revolution, really, that we are so blessed to kind of be a part of. You've already set the cards for us. Now we really need to just go and, you know, little by little, make all these dreams come true. One day there will be women equality. We will be paid the same. We will have a seat at the table. And I think this is a great step, very important step towards that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
The next generation is looking at you, and we all are going through this pandemic where we have challenges. We don't know whether, you know, our employment may change, or our personal lives are being challenged because of, you know, the fires, the racism, just so much happening. Do you think this is a good time for members to join a network like the PWB? And why should they join the PWB? How can the PWB, according to you, help them overcome these challenges and go above and beyond?
Well, one of the main reasons I wanted to be the chair of the Professional Women in Building at the national level is because I'm a process person. So to know me, I am a process person. I'm also a team builder. And so I wanted to put things into place, help put things into place with of course, Sharonda at that time. And get teams going, get everybody to work together so that you always have, I'm always looking for leadership. So you teach the next generation to bring in, you're always filling the funnel, and you teach them and then they move in. And so if you notice at National Association of Home Builders at PWB, I think I did what I wanted to do and get teams together. We are having Zoom meetings and but that's what you need is if professional women in building need to be, if you're in construction or connected to construction, you need that connection with other women. You really do, because we have a way of helping each other, building those teams, like with you, building a team across the country. You build a connection, you build friendships, you build empowerment. Next thing you know, you're doing great things that others would not choose to do, but you do it because you've got a team helping you and energizing you, and you just pull people along. If they want to come, they'll come. If they don't want to come, it's okay. It's not their time to follow. But I like to just see others become like the moments that you're going to be here getting your interview in the future. And I know you've already had a few of those, because you're one of those that are going to be, I think everybody can be a leader and they can be in the position. You just got to look at what you need to do to get there. It's kind of like right now, after my husband passed away in 2014, I had to learn what tools were called, because I have to be out in the field again, which has been some time since I was in college. But it's still, it's just, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. You just got to do whatever you want to do and wherever you want to go. Get the education and the information enough to be there at the table. And somebody comes up to you and says, well, where do you want to go here? And tell them. It's kind of like you've got to have a vision. And I've always been a visionary, but really, someone says, well, I haven't got much vision of where I want to go. Yes, you do. Just think about it. Where do you want to go, and where do you want to position yourself, and what do you want to be? Did you ever think you would be in the position you are right now? No. But there you are, and here we are.
Yes, yes, so true.
So get your friends together and get over this. Get into diversity. Diversity is got to be a part of our workforce, whether it's more women, more Asian, more African Americans, Latinos. It doesn't make any difference. We need diversity. We need to be able to understand each other's cultural background, understand who we are and where we're going. And I love the United States of America, but I tell you, we got to get off of this political crap. It's just not serving us. And I get up in the morning every day, and my day's a good day. I would suggest to do not get into the pity pot ever.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Darylene. Thank you so very much for your time and sharing your wisdom. I think we have successfully celebrated the woman who has made this huge, huge difference in our lives. As a professional woman in building, I use the hashtag PWB proud, but just having spoken to you, I am genuinely very PWB proud. Thank you so much for making PWB what it is.